Hello, this is Eric Vey again from DRA Global. In this session we are going to start with the drive block configuration. There is going to be 5 parts of this session. So part 1 we will cover the general motor block, how to pull it into the program and the general setup. Part 2 will cover the SimmerCode interface. Part 3 will cover the VSD interface. Part 4 will cover the interlock interface, and part 5 we will do the SCADA portion. So we are going to start off by going to our PLC project. I'm going to open my program blocks, I'm going to go to drives, and I'm going to go to index and DOLs. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to take a copy of existing clean block to configure instead of just doing a raw startup, which can be a quite timely exercise. So I'm going to copy that specific pump and I'm just going to place it in my drive root. And first, let's say this is going to be a pump, so I'm just firstly going to go to my FC. Then I am going to give it a new name. Let's keep it to 100 and let's make this pump 10 just for general purposes. You will see here that this specific FC number has already been used, so we are going to configure a new one, and the drive range is in range 4000. So if I go to 4000, you see it's 4000 already in use. So I'm just going to go click the up button and it will tell me 4026 is now available. Let's say OK, and then I'm going to do the same to the DB. We're going to put 4026 and we're just going to rename it to 10. And then this specific one is a SimmerCode, so that is my SimmerCode data block, and I'm just going to give it the same name. The DB address, it's got a 10,000 offset, so this one will be 14026. And you can see it's all clear, and then I can go OK. The second thing that we're going to do is when I open up my drive tags, these are the drive UDTs, and I'm going to add a new one, and we're going to call it 100 DB010. And you'll see that it automatically allocated the data type to that. So then the first thing I'm going to do is just open up the actual FC. And because this was a copy, I'm just going to do a little bit of a check to make sure that there's no interlocks or sequence interfaces already assigned to the previous one. So I can see here the sequence side is completely clean. And if I go through my different interlocks, I see that they are also all clean. We're not going to do the SimmerCode input now, that will be covered in part 2. But I am going to go to my drive. And we can see it's all configured here, but it still had my copy of the old UDT tag. So to correct this, I'm just going to name it 10. And there it is. One other configuration that we've got here is on the startup. So my startup mode, so that's when initially my block is scanned for the first cycle. Which mode do I want this block to start up? So I'm going to give it a 1 because I want it to start up in normal mode. I don't want it to start up first and in maintenance mode. And if I can just save my project. The next step will be to actually call the drive block. So I'm going to open just a new section here, which I'm going to call training. And I'm going to pull this drive in here in the call function. And that is basically it for configuring a new drive blocks. Now we can proceed to test it. So just going to go to my program blocks, save all my changes. It's going to run a compile to see if there's any errors on the new block. It's fairly clean. These are just synchronizations for the existing blocks because I've added a new one. I'm just going to say finish and say reinitiate and load. Now if I go to this pump and I go to my online monitoring, I can see that my pump is now live and it's functional. And that is it to set up a new drive block. Of course, you can then also go and just shift this to the DRA folder once you've completed. We'll do that after we've done the some code interface. Thank you for watching. We'll continue in part 2.